The characters of the Monogatari series are often defined by the changes that occur to their characters as a result of self-reflection and overcoming personal problems. However, something that most people probably didn't notice is how the series uses hair to represent this, with a large amount of the series' characters changing their hairstyles or hair length as a direct consequence of their personal development. And so that is what we shall discuss today. So if you find yourself entertained at any point during the video, then consider liking, subscribing and ringing that bell, as I cannot explain to you how much just a small action can do for this channel. And if you want to go the extra mile to support this channel, then consider pledging to my Patreon. Anyway, on with the video. Hanekawa Tsubasa, the class president among class presidents. This may just be the way that Aragi describes her, but it is also the way Hanekawa chooses to act for herself. At the end of Kizumonogatari, she changes from one braid to two in an attempt to better fit this image of a perfect student. And why does she do this? Because Aragi is the one who sees her as this perfect student, and Aragi is the one she wants praise and attention from. One of Hanekawa's key flaws is that she mistakes acting for growth. She acts like the perfect class president and gets praised for it, but this isn't personal growth, it is just receiving praise through theatrics, or not really being true to yourself or your own issues. After the events of Tsubasa Cat, Hanekawa thinks she has changed in a meaningful way, that due to Aragi's help she has overcome her personal issues, her love for him, and all the other problems Black Hanekawa manifested to counteract. However, this isn't true, as in this part she never saved herself, she never overcame her own personal problems, and never developed into a better person. She got Aragi to cut her hair between Bakemonogatari and Nisemonogatari. However, this was once more just a performance. She cut her hair and stopped wearing glasses to act the part of a changed person. She made Aragi do it as she wanted him to be the one to see how she has changed. She changes her hairstyle to look the part of the changed girl, but does so without really changing at all. Her family situation remained the same, her flawed view of the world remained the same, and her feelings of stress, love and now envy still persisted. Not until she finally self-reflected and resolved the issues on her own without the help of anyone else did she finally change on the inside. Before, her outside changed but her inside stayed the same, but after acknowledging Kako as part of her and coming to grips with her own flaws, she is able to change on the outside too, which is why her hair changes colours to black and white. It signifies the change in her both on the inside and the outside, it symbolises her actually changing. Senjougahara changes a lot from the point she meets Aragi. She opens up, slowly but surely, in one of the most heartfelt relationships I've ever seen in fiction. Due to the aid of Oshino and Aragi, she was able to overcome the ordeal with the weight crab and take the burden of her memories and feelings without pushing them away. However, it isn't until the end of Karen B that she cuts her hair short, which of course is significant of a change in character, and where what happens in Karen B that would affect her in this way. Of course we are talking about Kaiki. Now the whole Kaiki-Senjougahara relationship is something that has no stated canon answer, and people interpret it in all manner of ways, and just to avoid arguments in this video, I won't be mentioning my own opinion. What is important though is that by standing up to Kaiki she got some closure and resolved one more of the threads left loose after she took back her memories from the weight crab. Only after confronting Kaiki and resolving her feelings with him could she take a step forward, and so she cuts her hair to symbolise this. Kanbaru's hair is short in Bakemonogatari and then grows without being cut all the way until the ending of Hanamonogatari. At the beginning of Hanamonogatari we find a conflicted Kanbaru, not the happy-go-lucky character we are used to, but a far more sombre existence. She is stuck, endlessly running in chase of the fond memories of the past and also the uncertain future, but at the same time she is also stagnant in terms of her affliction. She is too scared to confront her own issues and try to resolve the issue of the rainy devil, as every time she tried to in the past it ended in people she cared for being hurt. And even further, when she desires to help Numachi, she is unable to make up her mind on whether to act. She is stuck and so can only run and run without a destination, unable to get anywhere. She is stuck, unable to move in so many ways, and so only due to the kind words of her senpai and her final match with her former rival, she is able to come to self-reflect, come to a decision and start moving for herself, and so now able to make a fresh start towards the future, away from adolescence, she makes a fresh start by cutting her hair. Sengoku is a character who always acted the victim. She was self-conscious of the way people saw her, and so used her fringe as a mechanism to hide. She hid behind it so people couldn't see her eyes and not see her true self, instead only seeing the person she tried to project, be it a victim, a cute daughter, or a romantic option. When Tsukiji went and cut Sengoku's fringe, she exposed her true self to the world. She could no longer hide behind her outward appearance and conceal her true feelings, and as a result she began to act truer to herself, not the cute girl she projected out, nor the victim she acted like, which resulted in her violent outrage and later her ascension to divinity. When she became an oddity, her hair literally became snakes. The defense mechanism she once used to hide her true self became the most obvious indicator of her true self as an oddity. And after Kaiki got involved and all that was resolved, when she overcame her issues and stopped trying to act a certain way to defend and hide her inner self, she chose to cut her hair short, so there was no longer anything to hide, to make her an open book. With eyes clear as day to all, she could no longer hide who she really was and be true to herself. Shinobu doesn't really change her hairstyle at all during the course of the series, except maybe you could argue between her different forms in Kizumonogatari, but one thing that is of note involving her head area is her helmet. Now you might think this was just a weird design choice for Shinobu in Bakemonogatari, but trust me, it goes a little bit deeper. As in Kizumonogatari, how does Aragi show his closeness to Kishot? By patting her head. And so when their relationship goes sour and she shrinks away from connection and their relationship, she dons a helmet to physically prevent him from patting her head, in other words from getting close to her. And so that's why in Nisemonogatari, when the two begin to reconcile and their relationship grows closer, she no longer wears the helmet as she has accepted his feelings towards her and so won't push them away anymore. Karen cuts off her ponytail with a key for no other reason than that it was getting in the way, and that sums up her character pretty well, as stuff like hair aren't things she places value in. She is true to what she believes in and will stand up and fight for those things with all the fire she can muster. However, the reverse is also true, and so things she considers of little importance like her hair can just go in the trash. And to an extent, her lack of any aversion to cutting off her own hair may also be symbolic of her self-sacrificial nature, as much like her big bro, she is happy to throw her body into danger even if she has a burning fever if it means serving justice. Karen's hairstyle change then isn't actually representative of change, but instead of her very being. Due to her nature as an oddity, Skihi's hair grows at a much faster rate than normal humans. This acts to represent her immortality, with time flying by her quickly and her hair growing quickly in tow, but more importantly ties into her natural tendencies to mimic. Throughout the story we see her adopt a wide range of hairstyles, and this represents how easily she's influenced by her surroundings, with her hair changing all the time much like she does, reacting to her stimuli and masquerading as a human. Much like Karen then, her hair situation isn't representative of change or development, but instead of her nature and being. So as I hope I've made clear, changes in hairstyles signify great changes in the Monogatari series, and are more than just visual changes representing the overcoming of problems and a change in perspective. And yes, before anyone comments it, I do know that Nisho Ishin has, let's say, a preference for short-haired girls, but let me remind you that he is also one of the greatest literary minds to ever live, and if he wants to write incredible character arcs in order to facilitate some characters changing their hairstyles, then I ain't complaining. Comment of the week comes from Mocha-chan, because that is just one wild story and an interesting way to read Gintama. If you are interested in my literary endeavours, then why not check out my books Gang, Fluid Justice and People of Fate Volume 1, available at Amazon.com. And if you want to go the extra mile in supporting this channel, then consider pledging to my Patreon, where for as little as £2.75 a month, you can get your name at the end of the video, like Hikari Desu, 7SO, Smokey McBobby and Rinjack9696. So with all that said and done, I've been Seth the Sin, the Deadly Sin of Geek, and I'm signing out. Stay safe, everyone.